Okay, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance first, but what I want you to do is to stay standing for a few minutes after the Pledge of Allegiance. It's been 22 years where we lost the life of one of our, it'll be on the 29th of this month, and we won't have a meeting before then. Randy Dameron, it's 22 years ago that he lost his life while working for us. So, and that was while he was on duty. So, if you could stay standing after the Pledge of Allegiance, that'd be greatly appreciated. Please rise. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7:01. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Von Crooks?
Here.
Benedetti?
Here.
Howie?
Here.
LaFever?
Here.
Perugi?
Here.
Berzeppa?
Here.
Stack?
Here.
Quorum present, Mayor Stack.
Thank you very much. First thing on the agenda is our minute approval for May 6, 2019 regular meeting. It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Next item on the agenda is for our, we're very proud to announce our Trenton High School class of 2019 top 10 students to make it part of our presentations.
So move.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. I am going to call up our three gentlemen that are here. We have the principal, Ron Dyroff, and we have Pete Youngblood. I should know him forever. And Mr. Trush, please. I'll take that.
I knew the bar was so low for principals these days, huh? These were some of my favorite teachers in high school. I'm allowed to say it.
Wow. Look at this crew.
Okay, so we're going to be honoring the top 10 students, and that is the names are right there. And I'm going to let you go ahead and read them, and we'll present them. Sounds good. Oh, sure. And then they'll shake all of our hands.
Olivia Wakeham, she wasn't able to make it tonight. They're currently doubleheader right now in softball.
That's what I heard.
Michael Tanner.
After we get done, we'll go, I want you to stand right up here. We're going to go ahead and we're having you go down with a microphone to tell us where you're going to school and what you're going to be studying afterwards, okay?
Stephen Blanton.
There you go. Congratulations.
Kelsey Boldazar.
There you go. Congratulations.
Gabrielle James.
Congratulations.
Rachel Penny.
Congratulations. Here's your
Megan Peterson.
congratulations. Here you go.
Luke Van Auken.
That's the same look before with the swim team, right? Congratulations. There you go.
Tegan Opelt.
Congratulations. There you go.
Katrina Katabian. Would you like to say something else? Would you like to
Say something about the top 10 students?
It's just an honor for us to be here tonight. Thank you for having us here this evening to celebrate the THS Class of 2019 THS Top 10. I'm going to pass the mic down now and let each student say where they're going to school and what their future plans are.
And if you'd like to introduce your parents, you can.
I will be attending the University of Michigan for nursing, and my mom is over there, and my dad.
What are you going to study? What are you going to study?
Nursing.
Very good.
I'm also going to U of M for aerospace engineering.
Okay.
I'm also going to Michigan to study finance, and my grandparents are
I
here.
couldn't understand that one with your shirt like that. Congratulations.
No, they're out of town.
Okay.
Hi. I'm also going to the University of Michigan to study engineering, and my parents and my grandparents are in the back over there.
Oh, very good.
Hi, I'm Gabby. I'm going to the Honors College at University of Michigan Ann Arbor. I hope to study, or I'm going to study biology and mathematics, and then I hope to be a surgeon. And my beautiful mother is right there.
I'm Rachel. I'm going to Michigan as well, and I'm going to study nursing.
Wow.
Hi, I'm Megan. I'm going to break the pattern here. I'm going to Central Michigan University.
Yeah, go Chips!
I'd like to be a librarian.
I'm Luke Van Auken. I'm also going to the University of Michigan, and I'm studying mechanical engineering, and that's my mom in the blue.
Hi, my name is Tegan. I'm going to the University of Michigan. I'm going to go in undecided, and that's my mom in the Adidas sweatshirt.
She's our waitress at Mom's. Well, we'd like to thank you all for coming. You have to be greatly proud of all these kids, that's for sure. Just wanted to say thank you for coming down. Thank you for doing what you're doing. And here's our future right here, so it's going to be a good thing. And go blue, because that's most of you are from Go Blue.
Chips, man. Come on.
I need you to turn right around, and each of the council members would like to shake your hand.
Show me that chip. Told you, pal.
Like a snake line or something, yeah. We'll figure this out.
The glasses.
Got a bunch of future Michigan grads, we'll figure it out, right?
Oh, boy. Yep. Did you graduate, Stephen? Yeah. Did you go to Michigan or just graduate?
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Congrats, go blue.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Congrats, go blue.
Good job. Great job.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Good job. You can always transfer to Central. Congratulations. Good job. Very proud of you. Is this my Chippewa? Yeah, go Chips.
Thank you.
My daughter's doing. You're down here all the time. You're up there. You live down here.
That's the most there's been since I've been here. Normally it's like 2 or 3 or so, but yeah.
Usually put the grade point down and put that high. No. We can't do that because we might offend someone. Watch out, Brandon. You see her shoot up and she said like
Yeah, isn't that great?
That's awesome.
She gave her a card. She's handing out cards.
I just wanted to let you know one thing is that our city assessor is really pouting over there because he's from state.
God, was it a tie?
Thank you again, and congratulations.
Was it a tie? Run. Was it a tie? Grade points.
I don't know. I don't have that in front of me. I don't know. Okay, next item on the agenda was going to be the Trenton Prep Hockey Team. There was a double header tonight, and they could not make it tonight, so we're going to reschedule that for June, probably the first meeting in June. Okay. Next item on the agenda is, let me look here, appointments. I would like to reappoint Janessa Waginka to the Civic Commission for a term expiring May 1st, 2022.
So moved. Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Benedetti?
Yes.
Howie?
Yes.
LaFever?
Yes.
Peruggi?
Yes.
Rezeppa?
Yes.
Stack?
Abstain.
Von Crooks?
Yes.
Motion carried, Mayor Stack.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is for the 33rd District Court's fines, costs, and fees for April 2019. I'm going to defer to our Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman LaFever.
Thank you, Mayor Stack. I make a motion to receive and place and file the fines, costs, and fees for the 33rd District Court for the month of April 2019, which shows the City of Trenton owing the court $5,092.07. Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Thank you. You wonder where they get the 7 cents from, huh? The other thing is, okay, so the next item on the agenda is Mike Dwyer, waste collection analysis. And I believe that all he has asked is a question on his request. Madam Clerk, could you read that question that he has for the council?
Sure. It says, Dear Mayor Stack and City Council members, about 4 years ago, the City of Trenton put together an analysis regarding waste collection, which demonstrated a savings of approximately $1,200,000 over a 5-year period. What is the status of this study? Thank you, Mike Dwyer.
I'd like to make a motion to receive it and place it on file and refer to administration.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? At this point, there is nothing. It's expired, basically, in some respects, so I don't really have anything that, to really tell him, but we'll touch base with him after this meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Next item on the agenda is Trenton High School volleyball team bottle drive request. Madam Clerk, would you take that for me, please?
The Trenton High School volleyball team is looking for permission to hold a bottle drive in the city of Trenton. Let's see, on Thursday, June 27th, and collecting the bottles and cans on Monday, July 8th, with alternate dates of Friday, June 28th, 2019, and Tuesday, July 9th, 2019, in the event of bad weather. And this would be under adult supervision and the direction of the police department.
I would so move.
The Civic Commission did approve this.
Okay, Civic Commission did approve. Did they have the paperwork from the schools that said that they could do this? Okay. So we're all set there. It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Next item on the agenda is from the Civic Commission Memorial Day and Christmas Parade road closure requests. And I'll have our Recreation Director, Joanne Gagne, come to the podium.
Thank you. The Civic Commission is requesting permission to close West Road from 4th Street to Westfield between the hours of 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. on Saturday, May 25th for the 2019 Memorial Day Parade. They are also requesting permission to close West Jefferson Avenue from the south side of Harrison to the north side of West Jefferson at Elizabeth Drive's intersection between the hours of 5 and 8 p.m. on Saturday, December 7th for the 2019 Christmas Parade. Adoption of a formal resolution signed on behalf of the City of Trenton by the mayor and city clerk is requested.
I would so move.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is from our Trenton High School Homecoming Parade road closure request. Mr. Doyle, Dr. Doyle, would you like to take that?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Madam Clerk.
The Trenton High School is looking for permission to hold their annual homecoming parade on Friday, October 4th. And this would be to request the closure of Nichols Street from Trenton Drive South to Charlton Road East to Etzel Street, and between 5:15 and 6 p.m. for the staging, and then close Etzel South to West Road from Etzel Street to Westfield Road, and Charlton Road from Westfield Road to Boxford Street between the hours of 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
So moved. Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. St. Paul Lutheran Church, Healthy Trenton, 5K and 1 mile run walk. Madam Clerk, would you take that too?
St. Paul's Lutheran Church is asking for permission to hold their annual Healthy Trenton 5K and 1 mile run walk. And this would be to approve the temporary street closure to hold the run on Saturday, June 22nd, 2019, from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. And it would be commencing on Nicholas Street to Charlton Road to McLeod Park and then back to Nicholas Street. This would be under the supervision of volunteers and under the direction of the police department.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Next item on our agenda is from our city controller, the budget fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020.
Thank you, Mayor. We have proposed a millage rate of 24.7506, covering the fiscal year July 1st, 2019, and ending June 30th, 2020. We will pass the individual parts of the tax rate in the tax resolution. The budgets, the general operating budget and the required budgets for debt and operating pertaining to the City of Trenton for the fiscal year July 1st, 2019 and ending June 30th, 2020 be established in the amounts listed below. The general fund, $21,518,833. The major street fund, $1,325,192. The local street fund, $1,153,291. The recreation complex, $1,623,057. Community block grant fund, $20,000. The library operating fund, $900,760. The special revenue fund, $2,827. The grant fund for $85,415. The DDA, $626,613. The brownfield in the amount of $400,000. The sink fund, $235,500. The water and wastewater treatment fund, $11,039,340. The motor vehicle pool, $863,904, and the self-insurance fund for $5,392,370.
Need somebody to make a motion to accept?
So moved.
It's been moved and accepted. Is there any discussion? Councilman Howie?
I'd ask that we have a roll call vote, and I just had a couple of things that I wanted to go through. First of all, each and every year when we start the budget process, like the last few years, clearly we've had a lot of challenges. It's hard for the mayor, it's hard for the administration, department heads, as well as elected officials. I don't know how to simplify it, but clearly we have limited revenues and our expenses exceed the revenues. To make matters worse, we just take a look at some of the challenges, the unknowns that we do have here in the city of Trenton. First and foremost would be DTE. Everybody knows that DTE will be shutting down, decommissioning. In fact, just a few short months ago, they decided they're going to move it up 1 year. And that's going to dramatically affect our general fund as well as other budgets. On the McLeod Steel site, we're not quite sure exactly how all that's going to work out. We haven't received what the proposal is for that. The good news is that we did not raise the millage. I think it's in the last 7 years, it's only been one time that we did raise the millage. Is that correct, Madam Mayor?
That's correct.
And the very next year, we brought it right back down. I get quite a few phone calls and run into people. People ask, Bob, our taxes are so high. The fact is, it's not from the city of Trenton, it's Trenton Public Schools. We just approved the bond, 3.99 mils. A lot of times, the folks here take a lot of criticism, but that's the Trenton Public Schools part. The bad news is for this year is that right now we're going to be spending almost approximately $1 million of the rainy day money, and it's going to be, last year we spent almost $1.2 million of the fund balance, and it's simply just not sustainable. I really believe that we need to keep that rainy day money there for an emergency if something does come up. When you try to look at it, we need to keep the money in the bank so when we do have a DTE closing. I don't think any of us really know exactly how it's going to affect. The DTE is the largest taxpayer in the city of Trenton. They pay over $3 million to our general fund. We talk about debt. I won't go into a lot of detail, but I just think it's important that the residents do know the city of Trenton does have a debt of over $100 million. I'll just go through it quickly. $16.4 million that goes to unfunded police and fire unfunded liability. $19 million for the MERS unfunded liability. $11.6 million is for capital improvement projects, and approximately $53 million for our OPEG. Again, that's over $100 million. Those aren't Bob Howie's numbers, and Madam Controller, are those numbers in our budget book?
Correct.
So, again, these are numbers that we're concerned with how we move forward. Another item that concerns me, we talk about DTE because it is a significant number, is that we as elected officials and administration, we need to talk about. I don't recall them not even talking about for a single minute exactly when DTE completely shuts down, what is going to be the overall effect to our budget. I think we need to take some time and determine what that's going to be. So clearly the spending model that we're on is just not sustainable. Because of those reasons, I'll be voting no on this year's fiscal year budget.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Councilmember Zappa?
Sure. So I guess I would say a begrudging yes on this. As of the last budget meeting, I said that I was still a trepid no. But, up until probably an hour and a half ago or so, I was sitting at my kitchen table with the budget, just parsing through it. And at the end of the day, right, it comes down to, sure, we might be able to find $5,000, $10,000 here, but, when the grand scheme of things, that doesn't, isn't any of the transformational stuff that we really need here. I think that, I'm not super comfortable with taking another $1 million out of fund balance. But, alternatively, and not to dispute anything you said at all, Bob, because that was all, totally correct. But we do have the, I guess, quote unquote, fortune of having some of those debt numbers coming off the books for us fairly soon, whether it be in 2 years, I think it's about $750,000 for one sewer project, almost another $1 million the following year. The rink and pool will be paid off by 2022. In 2024, 2025. The MERS liability will be gone as well. And while, obviously we're not making all those strides in this budget, I do think that even from our discussions that while it might not be stuff that's baked into here, we are making a little bit more progress, whether that be in changing in how we do business with the maintenance of our vehicles. And I know we'll talk about, I know there's a couple of us that will bring it up later, but about how we inspect our buildings. And then even on the revenue side, some potential for increases that we may have there. But true, there's still tons of unknowns. We know DTE isn't going to be here forever, and that is a very relative term by using forever for that. And, we don't know even if the McLeod project does get off the ground, whatever that might look like, when we will actually start receiving tax revenue on it because of a lot of the, exemptions that they might seek there. So I think that, I actually do feel pretty comfortable speaking for everyone when I say that, our kind of universal goal here is to make sure that no one working for the city loses their job, no one that retires here loses any of the benefits that they get. But I think that, we should have the opportunity when we do our quarterly budget sessions over the course of the next year, where I'm fortunate enough that I'll get to oversee some of that. But that it's an opportunity for us to be a little bit more proactive on some of these things. I think, over the last few weeks, we collectively had some good ideas that unfortunately we weren't able to totally suss out for this budget, but have got the ball rolling on that, and I hope that we're able to do that a little bit earlier this time, which I look forward to. The one thing that I would like to note, and I know that there's a motion on the floor for that too, but we do also have a lot of eligible retirements right now, and people that have worked for the city for a long time that are, have done great jobs in their roles, and have a lot of knowledge and experience that, we don't know how long that will be. So once that's off the table, and I don't even know if I need to make a formal motion for it, but would just like for all of council to be notified if we do receive, word that to our HR department that any of our general employees or administrative personnel are retiring. So I don't mean to put you on the spot with that, Madam Mayor, but is that something administration can provide? Do I
Sure.
need a motion for that? just so that we're all aware and, might have that opportunity to kind of take a look at how we do business in some of the departments as well. But I guess, that all being said, I will be voting yes.
Councilman LaFever?
Yeah, I just want to say that being mayor pro tem, one of your jobs is to organize the budget ahead of time and work out with the administration and Karen. And when I first meeting with Karen, I sat down with her and met with her, I was in shock. Well, I didn't know what we're going to do this, okay? It was almost impossible, I thought, okay? And as the year went on, Karen did a great job with it, administration, Kyle, you did a great job with it. And I really believe that we've got some money that's going to be coming in here. I really believe that when it's all said and done, you put the pluses and minuses and do a budget analysis of it, I think we're going to be fine with it. We won't even be using that money. Part of it will be used, but we're going to replace it. That's my interpretation of it, okay? All right? I really believe at the end of the year will be plus, which is quite an accomplishment, okay, if for this council and administration, if we can do that, okay? So things have happened, and I feel good about it. As of 6 months ago, I felt terrible about it, okay? And like Stephen said, a lot of good things are happening next 2 to 5 years, okay, if we can make it till then. And Bob, I said, we got to make it till then, and that's been a hard thing to make that, but I really believe that this budget turned out way better than I expected, Kyle, and thank you, and Karen for doing that job, and the citizens to make it turn out good. We got a lot of things accomplished, and I'm proud of the way it turned out. And Edison's going to be a problem. We do have problems ahead of us, but I'm confident this council can get the work done and working with the administration, and the help of Karen, her magical little pen down there, does a good job. So I'm proud of it, and when it's all said and done, we will not be using that fund balance. That's my opinion, okay, and strictly my opinion. We've got some money coming in that hopefully we'll have in the next few weeks. It'll make everything look a lot rosier, and that's my spin.
Okay. Anyone else?
Nelson did.
Not,
Nelson does.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nelson. Go ahead.
You said yes.
I know.
Well, to Bob's point, I'm concerned about DTE as it relates to, I think we need to be more proactive than it appears to me. Maybe I'm missing something, but we know that it's a static date. We obviously can't force them to tell us what they're going to do with it, but I would think that we should have, at least from our perspective, options that we're going to explore, whether it's A, B, and C, instead of waiting till they say we're done. I mean, I don't have that answer, but I would like to think that we should be better prepared to say this is what we'd like to do with that property, whether it's, I don't want to spit, projects out, but I really think I think we should get that done well before that closure date, because then we're going to be stuck holding the bag, and then we're going to have nothing coming in our pockets. So that's just my take on that.
Okay. Anyone else? If not, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Howie?
No.
LaFever?
Yes.
Ferrugi?
Yes.
Rizepa?
Yes.
Stack?
Yes.
Von Crooks?
Yes.
Benedetti?
Yes.
Motion carried, Mayor Stack.
Thank you very much. Our city controller again for the millage tax rate, please. Mrs. Sell.
So before you, I have the tax resolution. Again, it is 24.7506, and that will be based on the assessment roll that was per the Board of Reviews that they signed on March 22nd, 2019. The rates are 15.9322 for the general fund on the valuation of $636,813,337. 2.3021 mills on that same valuation for the refuge collection and disposal. 2.2494 mills on the same valuation for the Act 345 pension system. 0.4828 mills on the same valuation for the library. 3.7841 mills on the same valuation for our sewer debt. Part of this resolution is also for our IFT, or industrial facilities tax, which is on the same mills, but they pay half the rates. I think I won't read those out loud to you.
So moved.
Support. It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Also, our controller, water and sewage rates, please.
So based on the budget that we just passed, I will read the current rates, the increase and the decrease, and then the total rate after. So for the water rate, it is proposed at, currently it's $5.83 per 1,000 gallons. The sewage rate is $5.17 per 1,000 gallons. And the capital rate is 1.92 per 1,000 gallons, and for a total of $12.92. The proposed budget is a water decrease of 56 cents per 1,000 gallons. The sewage rate is an increase of 35 cents, and the capital rate is a decrease of 82 cents.
So move.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Councilman LaFever?
Yeah, once again, negotiations by Administrator Scott Church, the mayor and her group. I'm going to say we're going to be the only, we're going to be the only community downriver that has reduction in water rates, okay? You feel comfortable with that statement, Scott, or no?
I feel comfortable speaking for us. I don't know as far as other communities around us if their rates have increased or decreased, but.
I mean, it's tough to look at their rate lower because the city of Detroit really controls that, but through some aggressive negotiating by the administration and Scott, we lowered our rate by 8%, which I think is truly incredible, and thank you for that. Instead of having a 21% increase, to have an 8% reduction, that's phenomenal, you know? So Scott, I expect to see your lawn nice and green this year.
Mother Nature's watering it, not.
I know, it costs a lot of water, you know. But anyway, I think that's great. So that's good news for the people of the city of Trenton, again, once again, for an 8% reduction on our water bills.
Okay, anything else? Okay, it's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion, any more discussion? If not, it's unanimously so ordered. Next item on the agenda from our controller, she's dominating this. The OPEB actuarial valuation report, please.
Okay, so before you, I have the OPEB actuarial valuation report, which stands for Other Post-Employment Benefits. So we are required to have this done every 2 years, and this provides us our actuarial computed employer contribution. We fund a portion of this contribution by paying our retirees' health care costs out of the general fund and the water fund. Additional contributions are currently being made out of the general fund as part of our corrective action plan. We send $50,000 per year. The water fund also makes additional contributions each year into this qualified trust. The computed employer contributions are as follows. June 30th, 2020 would be $5,527,783. June 30th, the contribution is $5,498,513. This report also provides us with the unfunded actuarial accrued liability of $51,900,855, which is a significant decrease from our last valuation. This decrease is due to the interest rate assumption of 6% instead of 4% and a more favorable claims and premiums than projected. This liability is more in line with our GASB 74 and 75 report, which is part of our financial statements. GRS will be providing the City of Trenton with a separate report after year end, which will be incorporated into our PA 202 uniformed assumptions for reporting to the state. All our assumptions are in line with the state's uniform assumptions, except for our healthcare inflation rate. The City of Trenton has a more favorable rate due to our being self-insured and our lower claims and premiums.
So move.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Councilman Howie?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So, Ms. Hall,
Yes.
going from the 4% to 6%, and then who determines that?
The actuaries gave us a range, and we picked the lowest range possible that we thought was the most reasonable.
Okay, because, I mean, at one point it was 8% and 7%, and then it dropped down to 4%.
So this report, the actuarial valuation, historically has been done at 4% in prior years. The GASB report is at 7%.
Right.
I know, two different
Because
reports as a time.
when you take a look at that number, I mean, the May 3rd, 2019 Michigan Department of Treasury annual required contribution showed the City of Trenton owing the 7.5
That was
million.
based on the 4%, that's why. So if you think of it as they're going to earn 6% over the life of all our retirees, it's going to make a heck of a lot more than 4%.
And
So
it-
that you're saying their contribution would be less. less would be required
This report is due, so every 2 years?
every 2 years.
Because one of the things when you take a look at the Gabriel Rudder Smith's report, May 14th, you read the 1, 2, 3, third paragraph down, the bottom sentence says, "This report does not satisfy Governmental Accounting Standard Board GASB Statement 74."
We have to have that report as well.
Is it possible that we can eliminate this report and just have the GASB report if that's the standard?
We can't now. We could work on it.
Because that's separate from the other one, is that correct? Okay.
Just making life more complicated.
It certainly does, and we're paying fees to prepare the report. I think you remember
It's true.
past months, that was something that I was kind of in disagreement on, and it's 6% still maybe. Mr. LaFever, what do you think, 6%? I mean, it's not 7 or 8%, but it's still
Yeah.
pretty aggressive. I mean,
Yeah,
it's still a
very
pretty good
aggressive.
number, but if that's what the GASB 74, 75, and that's where the industry's going, I guess that's what the number is. It just seems to be, I mean, when you cut your liability down by almost $2.5 million, significant.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Next item on the agenda is from our city engineer regarding petition to combine property, and I'm not going to read the parcel numbers, but it's at 5999 Fort Street. Mr. Hogan.
Yes, thank you. This is the northeast corner of Fort and Breland. SS Land Holdings LLC, it's the Hampton Manor project, has submitted a petition to combine the parcels. Parcel numbers are indicated. We recommend that this petition be forwarded to the Planning Commission for their review and approval or recommendation.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is for our city engineer again, request to advertise Westfield building and roof repair.
Thank you. Requesting your authorization to prepare the specifications, advertise, and receive competitive bids for the replacement or repair of the roof. This project will be funded by the Parks and Facilities budget or the Capitals, depending on the magnitude of the cost.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to defer to our Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. LaFever, regarding the authorized disbursements and the reports, please.
Thank you, Mayor Stack. I'd make a move to authorize disbursements dated May 20th, 2019 of $745,731.97.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered.
Make a motion to authorize ACH transactions of April 2019 in the amount of $253,640.96.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered.
Next one, we replace and file and receive the following reports. Financial summary dated April 30th, 2019. The schedule of investments and cash on hand also dated April 30th, 2019. The Recreation Commission meeting dated March 18th, 2019. The Civic Commission minutes dated April 1st, 2019. The Historical Commission minutes dated April 8th, 2019. The Police and Fire Pension Board minutes dated April 24th, 2019. The Fire Department and Police Department monthly reports dated April 2019.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Okay. I think we got through the full agenda now. Okay, I'm going to start with Councilman Benedetti.
Ooh, lucky me. So a couple things. One is we talk about this every year, and I don't know how we would enforce it, if it would be the building department, the police department, but we go through this every year when it comes grass season, and they blow it out in the middle of the street, and it causes problems with the sewers, which plugs them up, adds more work for the DPW, but how do we stop the people from doing that? And I think the biggest offenders are the companies that are cutting grass. I mean, the residents, they go out, they get the leaf blowers out, they sweep it up, they clean it up, but you drive down some of the streets when contractors are cutting it, and it's everywhere.
I've asked for Mr. Hogan to give me the ordinance in regards to the grass clippings left in the street. I do have people that live on my street that are doing that, so I'd just like to warn them. I have actually, last year, I actually stopped a company from doing it.
I know, but, so we say something to them, but they turn around and do it again because, oh, so somebody came and told me not to do it, oh, well.
Yeah, no, they would have to be ticketed, and I would just have to make note of, or somebody would have to make note that they keep on continuing to do it, so.
Okay.
So I will carry that I'm gonna carry that ordinance in my car over the summer, so I can give it to them.
Next one is, we talked about the roof for the Westfield Center tonight, and we're making efforts to get some of the buildings brought up to speed around here. But here we were at the budget going, how are we gonna do this, how are we gonna do that? And it seems like we find out about some of this stuff when it comes to budget time. So either do we have to make an ordinance, or can we make it just you can make sure administratively that it's done, or the next administration or whoever, that maybe once a year we go through and have our buildings inspected, just like we do commercial buildings in our town, and that way we can see, like in January or February, going, these are things that need to be done right now at our buildings. They need to be done this year. We need to either fix some electrical, fix some roofing issues, windows, whatever it is. And I know there's a ton of them that we need done at a lot of the buildings, even here.
We did sit down about the Westfield Center. We do have a plan, so we're working on that plan. That's why I asked if we could put that on for Mr. Hogan, put it on to go out for specs for the patching and or possible replacement, depending on where we're at. I'm all for maintenance. I've always been that, when it comes down to it. So I'm trying to do some preventative maintenance. We are discussing amongst the facilities gentleman that is in charge of facilities, and we've sat down and talked about some of these things. So we are working towards getting some kind of plan down in place so that we can, we can do the inspections to make sure. I will let you know, last year we did the inspections of all the parks. We went with the Recreation Commission, and they have done a great job in getting some of that stuff taken down, and, stuff that's been sitting up there for years that's just plain rusted and that kind of thing. So we've cleared out quite a bit of that stuff. So we'll be working towards working on the buildings. I've talked to department heads to tell me where they're at with some of the stuff that they need, and they're, whether it's caulked windows or, that kind of thing that needs to be done. So we're working to see what we can do to get some of that taken care of.
Okay, but I guess, so the question I have, and I don't know if this is for Mr. Long or you, if we pass an ordinance to say that it has to be done every year, then we won't run into this in 5 or 6 years of all of a sudden, that building's so bad, we gotta tear it down.
I think it's not really an ordinance. I think it would be more of a policy that the council could pass to make sure that it's done on an annual basis. So we could actually put together some kind of policy instead of, because really the maintenance of our buildings is more on the policy end of it than it would be. But the council could, if we want to put together a policy, we can do that, and, I have no problem with that, so.
Okay.
If that's a motion, I'll support it.
Yeah, can we make it a motion to have it turned into a policy that we can see and
Sure.
approve?
So it's been moved and supported to have administration move forward on putting together a policy for the maintenance of the buildings. Annual inspections, yes. Councilmember Zappa?
So related to that, then you mentioned the parks and then the sort of the spreadsheet we got, and this doesn't have to be part of the actual motion here, but if we were to get like a spreadsheet like that where it was kind of like tiered out as phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and prioritized like that for the buildings here, that would be super helpful, at least for me. But
Okay.
yeah,
Very good.
I thought that was really helpful from the Parks Department. So.
Okay, we can do that. Councilman LaFever?
Yeah, I agree with Rick and Steve, but it can't just be for 1 year. We need to inspect every year and give us a plan for the next 2 or 3 years, because, Bill's good about, he can tell what's gonna happen in the next 2 or 3 years and start budgeting for that.
Sure.
Rather than get down to the end, we don't have any money.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a great idea.
Sure. Councilman Peruggi?
Yes, to Stephen's point, I think it's a perfect opportunity on that spreadsheet. That way, it gives us an opportunity to prioritize and budget appropriately, so nothing creeps up on us, so that spreadsheet would be valuable.
Very good. Councilman Howie?
And if I can just put my 2 cents in, I would make sure that we include not just the structures, but, the parking lots and whatnot associated with that.
I agree, it's all been said. We used to do that years ago. We used to go through all the buildings. I don't know what got lost in the shuffle, but we did that 20 years ago, and we went and toured all the buildings, and we used to, do that all the time. So I'm all in favor and always was. So I think we need to continue.
I don't know if it needs to be, I don't know if it needs to be on a council level to go, go looking at the buildings. What we want to do is make sure that we can have our inspectors go out and we can go ahead and do a,
Well, I think it gives the council a good idea, though, what we are spending the money on. I mean, it's not like we're gonna, make the decisions, the inspectors can do that. But it gives us, when the residents come to us and ask us, why aren't we doing that? Or, well, we can say we toured these buildings, some of them, and give them an idea of what we thought. We don't have to be there in every one, but at least we have an idea what we're looking at and what we're spending the money on.
Sure.
Point of order, ma'am.
Go ahead, Mr. Anjanin.
With all due respect, Madam Mayor and the council, and ladies and gentlemen, policy is not required. It should be followed, but you need an ordinance that would specifically say you will do it annually before budget so that that will be done. And I'm speaking from experience, sitting behind that table. There was a lot of policies that were ignored, but once you pass an ordinance requiring an annual inspection by the city engineering and inspection is different than the policy. And I would appreciate, and I think you guys need to consider that. I'm not talking about just this administration or this council. I'm talking about future city mayors and councils, because the ordinance is law, it says, and you got an attorney saying there and tell it, and I urge him to say what I said, is it correct or not?
Mr. Long, is there anything that you want to add to that at this point?
No, it's the option of the council whether they want to enshrine that in ordinance in the city code. Typically, direction given with respect to maintenance, ordinary maintenance of city buildings and so forth, is an administrative practice. Doesn't require an ordinance to do it. They're all elected officials. They heard what you had to say. I'm sure that they're not going to ignore you.
From a legal standpoint, sir, which is mandatory and which can be ignored?
A resolution of the council is a determination that needs to and will be done. Putting it in an ordinance usually governs practices of citizens, of other governmental units, and so forth. This is an internal policy, but a resolution is binding on the council. I see no reason why it needs to be enshrined in ordinance form.
The reason is the future administrations may not feel the same way you do, including an attorney. If there's an ordinance, that's the law. It says, we will do this. Therefore, you must do this. And this, for the interest of the city, in all of the buildings that we have built in 1970s, these buildings are getting to a point they need to be inspected and taken care of when needs to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, where were we at? Motion on the floor is to look to put together a policy in regards to the inspection of the buildings. Everybody fine with that?
Well, to include at least a spreadsheet, I mean, I don't know
Spreadsheet, okay.
how you want to put that
Yeah.
in there, but.
Like we did for the parks.
Right.
And that will include parking lots and buildings, okay? Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Have anything else?
Sure.
Sure.
So, first off, thank you for the ordinances from a couple other places to review on the marijuana and medical marijuana grow. So, now that I've reviewed them, I asked earlier, there were some questions, and it was suggested, because we may have questions as a group, and I know, here we go again with another study session, but we need to come up with an ordinance. We've all had a chance to read certain ones. I think we need to go now and give the administration, along with the attorney, the guidance on how we want our ordinance wrote. So I'm looking to see if we could have a study session on June 3rd after the regular council meeting to go through that, so we can give them some bullet points of how we'd like the ordinance to go.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion?
Mayor.
Councilman
I
LaFever?
may not be at that meeting, okay, but I can get updated when I come back.
Okay. It's been moved and supported. Any other discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. So it'll be a study session after the regular meeting on June 3rd. So everybody put that on their calendar. Okay. Anything else?
No, I'm done.
Okay, Councilman LaFever.
They've got a few things tonight. The first one's for Mr. Hogan's bill. Couple questions for you, that's okay. One is I want to compliment you on the concrete work that's getting done very early this year. I think they're doing a great job out there. Once again, they're very clean, very efficient, and do a great job with that. So kudos to the concrete people, okay? My second question is that how many times do we go out there and cut the grass because the guy we hired to cut it can't get it done properly? Is that happening more often now than it used to? Specifically on the Typer field down there?
Are you speaking about private property that hasn't been maintained?
No, I'm talking about the city property. That's not
City
being-
property? As far as I know, we haven't had to call on another contractor to fill in for the primary one.
Have we gone out, the city, Trenton, and recut those areas?
I'm not aware of any of that.
Really?
I can verify it,
don't have the
unless you
equipment.
already know the answer.
We don't have the equipment for that.
We've got one piece of equipment that cuts grass. Is that true or not true?
I know we have some because we do some work around, I'm sorry.
You have your cell phone in your pocket?
No, I forgot it at home.
You want to use mine?
No. I can check in on this.
Yeah, would you?
As far as I'm aware.
I'm getting some calls from neighbors say, hey, the guy was out here, did a terrible job cutting the grass. The city had to come out there and cut it again. Okay,
I'm not aware of that.
okay. All right.
But I'll verify it.
All right, that'd be great. Okay. All right, you can sit down now, Bill.
All right.
The other idea is I've been, took my third trip through the Crown property down there, and totally amazed how fast and how nice that property is looking down there, okay? Doing a great job. I am concerned about the property next door to it. Now we're cleaning up the Crown property. The property next door, which I learned is owned by Wilkinson, that property looks terrible, okay? So if we're gonna go along and clean up the whole river down there, we need to get a hold of Mr. Wilkinson, who was, they're a good family. I think they would assist us if we let them know that we'd like to have their property cleaned up a little bit down there in the river. And I didn't even know who owned it until I checked into it, okay? That's their property. They're just that once you clean up something really nice, now next door looks terrible. So if you could get a hold of Mark Wilkinson and see if he would assist us in cleaning up that property, that would be greatly appreciated.
Okay.
Okay. And the last item is the parade is this Saturday at 10 o'clock, honoring all the veterans. It's always a nice parade. Weather's going to be great, according to Timber. So we'll hope we see everybody there at Saturday at 10 o'clock. And that's it. Thank you.
Councilman Peruggi?
You done, Bill?
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead. I'll pass the torch.
Sorry, Stephen. Scott, do you have any updates on any of the major hot buttons in the city?
Hospital. Just wiped off my list.
Stevens Canyon.
I have updates. I think it'd be more appropriate in a closed session setting, since we are involved in litigation, where things are at a fragile status in the courts right now. I don't think it's appropriate to have public comment as far as updates, but there has been progress on some issues of great concern.
That's on Riverside.
Right, I understand. My question would be, did you anticipate when we should, in your best estimate, based on the proceedings, when we should have that closed session?
I would say the second meeting in June would probably be the soonest. There could be some fruitful discussion on that. Some timelines should have come and gone by then, that we could have some meaningful discussion.
Okay. All right. That's it. Thank you, Scott.
Councilman Howie?
Just a couple things. First, I just wanted to reach out and say thanks to the city engineer. I think we all got an email from a resident there that was on Theodore Street, and after the conversation I had with Mr. Hogan, so it sounds like it was very timely. He was out there at 7:30 this morning checking things out. I know quite a few of us had an opportunity to drive by and whatnot, so and perhaps the administration can give us an update how things go and whatnot. And just wanted to say happy Memorial Day to everybody coming up. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Councilman Zappa?
Well, the bulk of mine seems to have been taken care of between councilpersons Benedetti and Perugi there. And
You're welcome,
yeah,
Steve.
I appreciate it. No, it saved me some breath tonight. Yeah, I would say outside of that, then the only other thing which I had mentioned earlier would be about personnel departures and stuff. But, Madam Mayor, did you say that needed to be a motion, or should that be?
No, we can
I
do
don't-
that administratively.
Okay, gotcha. Outside of that, hope everyone has a restful and solid Memorial Day weekend. So, thank you.
Okay, Councilwoman Von Crooks?
Yeah, just one thing. I'd like to thank the mayor and administration, Karen Saul, Mayor Pro Tem LaFever, for doing a great job with the budget. It went very smooth, and it's not always perfect, I know, because I've ran this budget a few years, and it's been tough, but we'll get through it. And on the positive note, I always, and I said this upstairs, I'm looking to some good advantages for the city of Trenton. We've got a lot of new development coming. Excuse me, it's not all doom and gloom. We've got a lot of great projects at the Owen School site. West Road, where the clock tower was, that's going to be a nice development with John McNally on both projects. Joe DeSanto's done a great job with the buildings next to McDonald's. So as much as we think, there's not some revenue coming in, there is some revenue and new development coming in. And we just have to keep our nose to the grindstone and spend it wisely. So I just want to thank everybody. You guys did a great job with the budget, and I'm still proud to be on this council, and I think we all, at the end of the day, have a lot of respect for each other. And your administration, Kyle, did a great job.
Thank you very
So
much.
that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
And I have something to report on the 33rd District Court. They had their 50th anniversary this last Friday. Some of us were able to be there, and it was a very nice ceremony with some of the judges had come back that are in the area, and it turned out real nice. So kudos to Judge McNally, Judge Coleman Hessen, and also Judge Kirsten. So they did I know that two of them worked like on a committee together to get it all together, but we appreciate all that they do over there and help us with putting the criminals behind the bars, so it's good. Okay, next thing is, Madam Clerk, do you have anything this evening?
I would just like to say the next regular council meeting will be on Monday, June 3rd at 7 p.m. And then there will be a study session to follow the meeting regarding the marijuana ordinance.
Okay. And our city assessor, Mr. Dalquist, do you have anything? Our treasurer, Mr. McCullough?
No, ma'am, nothing.
Okay, any department heads have anything they'd like to report? They're getting in line.
I'll be quick. Next Wednesday, May 29th,
5:30 p.m. St. Paul's Church will have our 7th annual First Responders Memorial Service. All are welcome. We'll have a real interesting speaker this year. I'd like to see you there. Thanks.
And that is right in the church, is that correct, the director? Okay.
What is it, next Monday?
Our recreation director?
27.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just wanted to remind council and all of our residents that on Saturday, June 1st, we will have the dedication of the West Jefferson Trail Project. It will be at 10 o'clock a.m., and it will be right at the gateway to the International Wildlife Refuge. You are all invited to attend. And council, if you could please RSVP to me, that would be helpful. Also, Mother Nature has not been very friendly to us with our park projects that we had scheduled this spring. The two that the dates have come and gone without the project being off the ground due to the weather. So we will be rescheduling the Lions Park project as well as the planting day at MacArthur Park in the near future. I don't have dates yet. We're still waiting for the parks to dry up enough to get prep work done. And also, so the next park projects will be the two tot lots, one at Cambridge and at Sycamore. Both will be done on June 7th, and we're looking for volunteers. So if you're interested, please contact our office. Thank you.
What time will that start, Joanne?
The June 7th, yes, 8 a.m. at Cambridge, followed by at noon at Sycamore.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Erin, our librarian, please.
Hello, good evening. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to give a reminder for residents that the Summer Reading Club is going to be starting. Registration begins for Summer Reading Club at the library on Monday, June 3rd. And we're going to be celebrating reading all summer long, all throughout June and July. We'll have programs on Wednesday afternoons for all ages, teen programs on Thursday evenings. And we're going to be celebrating reading through giving away prizes, raffles for local businesses, and small prizes for kids. So we really hope that everybody comes out for Summer Reading Club.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Is there any people from the public that would like to talk to the council?
Madam Mayor, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to urge the city to install extensions on downspouts at Westfield Activity Center, specifically northeast corner 1 and 2 in the north side of the building. They are right now pouring right into the foundation and digging a big hole. We're talking about less probably than $50 for all three of them. And I understand they've been telling people that this was all done. Well, it's not. I walked through it last Thursday, and there were 3 that are still pouring right next to the foundation. Thank you very much, and I would appreciate your help.
And I'd appreciate if we get it done so I don't have to hear you anymore. Because you tell me that every time you come in.
Why don't you get it done then?
I've had it directed to have it done.
And it's not done, and that's all I'm standing and telling you.
I understand. Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Dr. Doyle, you have anything?
Just real quick, recently Arthur's Middle School was redesignated as a Schools to Watch. That's a national forum. An outside agency came in and evaluated our middle school, and we were recognized in a national program as a Schools to Watch. The high school is working through their first year as an AP capstone diploma is now offered at the high school. Students have the opportunity to take AP classes, they take an AP seminar, and they take an AP research course, and once they've completed that, they can earn a AP capstone diploma from Trenton High School. And then just to keep things moving here again, with the bond and that going on, what I recommend for people is to go to www.trentonschools.com. We have it listed in 3 places. We have awarded bids in there, there's videos in there, and there's timelines in there. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. and City Clerk.
Anything else? If not, I'm looking for adjournment.
Support.
It's been moved and supported, 8:05.